This video is for my friend Dylan. We've played many nights of Magic against this deck, and this deck is legendary in our playgroup. Born in the seething hot fire of the mountain, hissing hot air, burning ash and smoke surrounds them, and the only thing that runs through your mind in those fleeting moments is panic. With a burning flame so hot, and a bright hot light reducing rock into puddles, turning trees into pillars of burning coal in an instant. These creatures have been called many things over millennia: basilisks, hydras, tarragons, and wyvern, but we will refer to them by their true name: dragon. There is no creature so renowned in MTG more than the legendary dragons of the card game we know and love. Spanning back all the way to Legends in 1994 came the legendary dragons. The Elder Dragons Chromium, Arcade Sabbath, Palladiumors, Nicol Bolas, Ugin, Vivictus Asmadi, and Piru, the Volatile. For better or for worse, 1994 Magic has evolved into what we know today, bringing with it thousands of new legendary creatures. But today we'll be talking about dragons, one dragon specifically, and that dragon is Scion the Dragon. Scion is one of very few 5-color legendary dragons in MTG, and with this Scion can be played many different ways as nature for 5-color decks. Let's start off talking about Scion himself. Scion is a 4/4 flying dragon costing 1 of each color to cast. This isn't what makes Scion so interesting. Scion has the ability of pay 2 neutral, and Scion becomes any dragon that you desire in your deck. Also with the added effect of taking that dragon and pitching it directly into your graveyard. Don't worry, I'm sure we won't be doing anything nefarious with that later. Color fixing in a 5-color deck can be difficult at times. There's a few different routes you can take. Either you go heavy green pump and dump and include cards like Rampant Growth, Cultivate, Kodama's Reach, or you can go the artifact way, but that requires stupidly expensive lands that nearly nobody can afford. Obviously getting Scion out is the hard part, but once you get Scion out you can do some really goofy shit. If you hit a player one time with Scion, there is what I like to call it the old razzle-dazzle combo, turning Scion into Molten Steel Dragon. Then proceeding to pay life with Molten Steel Dragon's ability, then immediately turning Scion into Skithiryx, the Blight Dragon. Even though Scion is known for this cheeseball combo, there is so much more than meets the eye, and unlike Transformers we have necromancy in Magic. Remember when I told you about putting dragons into the graveyard earlier? Well, meet my friend Living Death. Guess what all of those very dead dragons turn into very alive, very murderous dragons. And of course most of them have abilities like I Hit You. Your entire board is turned into tiny floating dust particles. Scion's ability isn't the only one we use for shenanigans. Greater Good says sacrifice a creature, draw cards equal to its power, then pitch 3 cards in the graveyard. Sneak Attack is an enchantment that allows you to put a creature from your hand into play with haste, then sacrifice the creature at the end of the turn. And you guessed it, a lot of dragons have. When this dragon dies, I'm going to commit a war crime against your board state. You can definitely see the pattern with Scion. Big mean dragon hit. Big mean dragon die to do stupid shit. Then big mean dragon comes back to haunt you in your nightmares. I'm 90% sure you could rewrite the entire plot to Nightmare on Elm Street, but instead of Freddy it's just Balefire Dragon. There's all sorts of fun and interesting dragons that you can put in a Scion deck. I think the hardest part is picking what ones you want to put in the most, although there's some very notable picks that we can go through. Balefire Dragon says when it hits a player, do 6 damage to every creature that player controls. Utvara Hellkite says whenever meaning one single dragon attacks, make a 6/6 dragon. Latlis, Dragon Queen states you play a dragon, you make a dragon. As you can see, there's some illegal couponing going on with dragons that make dragons that shit out other dragons, leading to a real goddamn problem on our hand situation for your opponents. But hey, dragons may have a lot of abilities, most are heinous as shit. What they don't have is indestructibility, that's why having Living Death, Patriarch's Bidding and other spot necrophiliac type shit to bring them back is so important in the deck. Long story short, Scion the Dragon is a fun deck. Just make sure you don't forget this one very important thing though. If by some ungodly reason you are losing the game, make sure that you turn Scion into Molten Steel Dragon and go out on your own terms, hence what we call the Molten Scoop was born. Thank you for watching my video, and if any of my friends want me to do a commander video for them, let me know. I'd be happy to.